A crypto exchange just ripped from under $4 to nearly $70. It reportedly generated revenue in the high hundreds of millions last year, with some recent reporting putting that number close to $1 billion. It runs with roughly only a dozen people, and it launched with zero venture capital allocation. That sounds fake, but it's not. This is HyperLiquid and its token called HYPE. Today, I'm going to explain it like you're 10. No crypto degree, no confusing jargon, just the real question. Is HyperLiquid actually building the future of trading, or is this just another crypto bubble with better marketing? Let's take a look. Here's the one-sentence version. HyperLiquid is a super fast crypto trading platform where people trade price moves, especially perpetual futures, but instead of everything happening on a private company's hidden server, the core trading activity happens on-chain where it is much more transparent. Think of a normal crypto exchange like handing your money to the casino cashier. You trust them to hold it, you trust them to give it back, and most of the time that works fine until it doesn't. FTX was a giant warning sign. People thought their money was safe, then the company collapsed and billions were gone. So traders wanted something better. They wanted the speed of a regular exchange without blindly trusting one company behind the curtain. Fast trading, more transparency, no venture capital insiders getting the early sweetheart deal. That is why people are paying attention. Before HyperLiquid, traders basically had two bad choices. Choice one was a centralized exchange. Fast and smooth, but you hand over your money and hope they don't lose it, freeze it, gamble with it, or disappear. Choice two was a decentralized exchange. More transparent, and you keep more control, but historically very slow, clunky, and painful. It was like choosing between a sports car with no seatbelt or a tank that drives 5 miles an hour. So HyperLiquid asked a powerful question. What if crypto trading could be fast and transparent? What if it felt like Coinbase or Binance but ran more like open blockchain infrastructure? That is the gap HyperLiquid jumped into. So check this out. Most blockchains are like public highways. Trading apps, NFTs, meme coins, games, wallets, and DeFi apps are all fighting for the same road. And when the road gets crowded, everything slows down. So HyperLiquid did something bold. Instead of building on someone else's crowded highway, they built their own road specifically for trading. That road has two major parts. The first is HyperCore. HyperCore is where the actual trading happens. It includes the order books for spot trading and perpetual futures. An order book sounds complicated, but it's actually pretty simple. Some people say, I'll buy at this price. Other people say, I'll sell at that price. The system matches them automatically, like a dating app, but for trades. The second part is HyperEVM. HyperEVM is the app building side. That is where developers can build tools, financial products, and applications around HyperLiquid's trading engine. So HyperCore is the engine, HyperEVM is the workshop around it. Now, you might be wondering, lots of crypto projects have tried on-chain trading, and it usually feels slow and clunky. So how does HyperLiquid feel so fast? There's three reasons. First, it's built for one job. Most blockchains are like a Swiss Army knife. They try to do everything at once. Games, art, lending, trading, meme coins, and whatever else crypto Twitter invents at 3 in the morning. HyperLiquid is more like a chef's knife. It's built to do one job extremely well, and that is trading. When a machine has one job, it can be much faster. Second, the trading is designed to be transparent. Some older on-chain exchanges still did important parts of the matching process off-chain on private systems and then posted the results later. That can be faster, but it brings back in that hidden middleman problem. HyperLiquid's pitch is different. Orders, cancellations, trades, and liquidations happen transparently on-chain. No secret back room. Third, HyperLiquid uses its own consensus system called HyperBFT. Consensus is just a fancy word for how computers agree on what happened. On a blockchain, a group of computers called validators has to agree on the order of events. Normally, that can be slow. HyperBFT is designed to make that agreement happen very quickly. Think of it like a relay race. One validator takes the lead, proposes what happens, and the others quickly confirm it. The result is fast finality and very high throughput. HyperLiquid says HyperCore can support around 200,000 orders per second. That is the magic trick. Centralized exchange speed, but with the core trading activity happening out in the open. Now let's talk about the tokenomics behind HYPE. HYPE has several jobs. It's used for staking, which helps secure the network. It's used as the gas token for HyperEVM. It is connected to governance and protocol participation. And staking HYPE can also connect to fee-related benefits. But that's not the part that made people obsessed. The big idea is the fee flywheel. Every trade on HyperLiquid generates fees. On most platforms, that money mostly goes to the company. HyperLiquid's models directs a major share of the protocol revenue towards buying HYPE back from the open market through its assistance fund. That matters because buybacks can create steady demand for the token. More trading creates more fees can create more buybacks can support the token, a stronger token can attract more attention can attract more trading. Round and round. That is the flywheel. And here's the number to remember: revenue. HyperLiquid is not just a white paper with a token attached. It already has usage. People are trading. Fees are flowing. Current dashboards show cumulative revenue over $1 billion, and recent reporting puts 2025 revenue somewhere in the high hundreds of millions, possibly close to $1 billion. That does not automatically make HYPE a good investment, but it does make HyperLiquid different from the usual crypto ghost town with a fancy website. There is a real business model underneath the HYPE. Now the supply. HYPE has a maximum supply of 1 billion tokens. Around 31% was distributed in the Genesis airdrop to early users. A large portion was reserved for future community rewards and emissions. Core contributors received about 23.8%, and famously there was no allocation to private investors, centralized exchanges, or market makers. That is rare in crypto. But no VCs does not mean no unlocks. Core contributor tokens are still subject to vesting, with most vesting schedules expected to complete around 2027 to 2028, and some continuing after that. So picture a tug-of-war. On one side, you have trading fees, buybacks, user growth, and new institutional products pulling demand higher. On the other side, you have future unlocks adding supply over time. The whole question is simple: which side pulls harder? If demand keeps outrunning supply, the flywheel keeps working. If trading cools off, those unlocks could become a real weight on the price. That's the real bet. So who built this? The founder is Jeff Yan. He has a serious background, Harvard, competitive physics, and experience as a high-speed Wall Street trader. And the team is tiny, roughly a dozen people. That small crew built one of the most talked about trading platforms in crypto. No giant staff, no VC army, no massive corporate machine, but that is genuinely impressive. But it also raises a fair question. Do you trust a small, low-profile team with this much money flowing through the system? Some people love that HyperLiquid is lean, focused, and not controlled by outside investors. Others want more public communication and more transparency from leadership. Both views are fair. Small teams can move fast, but when billions of dollars are involved, people want to know who is steering the ship. Now let's be honest, this is not a perfect story. Risk number one is decentralization. HyperLiquid is more transparent than a normal centralized exchange, but it is not as decentralized as something like Ethereum. It runs with a much smaller validator set. That means fewer independent parties are securing and operating the network. And that does matter, because if a small group can make big decisions, critics will ask a fair question: how decentralized is this really? All right, risk number two is the Jelly incident. In March 2025, HyperLiquid faced a market manipulation situation involving a small token called Jelly. The hyperliquidity provider Vault was temporarily under serious pressure, and the validators stepped in. They forcibly closed the market and settled positions to prevent more damage. On one hand, that helped protect the system. On the other hand, it scared people. Because in a truly unstoppable decentralized system, there usually is not supposed to be a referee who can just stop the game. So the Jelly incident became a double-edged sword. It showed HyperLiquid could react quickly in a crisis, but it also showed that human control points still exist. Risk number three is leverage. HyperLiquid is built for serious traders. Leverage lets people trade with borrowed money. That can multiply gains, but it can also wipe people out brutally fast. This is not a beginner piggy bank. This is not a buy and chill savings account. This is a high-speed trading machine. Risk number four is competition. Crypto moves fast. Today's winner can become tomorrow's history lesson. Rivals like DYDX, GMX, Aster, and other trading platforms are watching HyperLiquid's success and trying to copy it. So the real question is not just, is HyperLiquid good? The real question is, can HyperLiquid keep its lead? So what is my honest take? HyperLiquid is not just hype. There is a real product market fit, real volume, real revenue, real community, and a token model that is more interesting than most of crypto. But the risks are just as real. Validator centralization matters. Leverage is dangerous. The Jelly incident raised fair questions, and competition is coming. So here's the verdict. HyperLiquid looks like one of the strongest crypto businesses right now, but it's still a high-risk asset inside a high-risk market. It's not to the moon. It is a scam. The answer is more nuanced than that. If you're watching hype, don't just stare at the price. Watch the actual business. Watch trading volume. Watch revenue. Watch validator growth. Watch token unlocks. And watch whether users stay loyal when competitors come after it. Those numbers will tell you more than Twitter hype ever will. And here's the bigger lesson. This is something you can use on any crypto project. Ask two simple questions. Does it make real money? And who got the tokens first, the community or insiders? Those two questions alone can save you from a lot of bad decisions. Now I want to hear from you. What worries you more about HyperLiquid? The small validator set, the leverage, or the competition? Drop it in the comments. And of course, this is not financial advice. I'm an educator, not your advisor. Crypto is risky, prices move fast, and you can lose money. Always do your own research. You can do it. You're smarter than you think. See you next week.